Hi everyone, my name's Esther, and my talent is spilling water on myself. This has happened 3 times since I started working on the stream. Also, new hat. New hat is pretty cool. This is the Hanshin Tigers. They play in the Osaka area, Japanese baseball. I forgot to turn on my AC, so if I start sweating profusely, that's why. Of course, I can always just get up. I'm just gonna do that. There. Okay, so schedule today is first submission, original submissions. If anybody in the meantime sends in a paid submission for an existing song, we do that, and then original songwriting. I am very excited for the original songwriting. Is this a Batman song? No, this is something that a viewer sent in. So like I said, we're starting with the original submissions. They did a parody of We Don't Talk About Bruno for, it looks like a classmate of theirs that bothered them. They were on a trip involving a tent. Involving a camping trip, I guess. I do allow for song parodies if they're complete rewrites. I don't allow for, I change 5 lines and therefore it's original. You can't get around that. I personally have a complicated history with song parodies because I think they're hit or miss. Especially because song parodies are usually very situational. They're based on a specific situation. Sorry, I'm trying to make my hair look passable. Actually, it's better if I do this. No, that looks worse. The struggle. As long as I would braid my hair over the side this way. So I guess I could just, song parodies are kind of hit or miss for me, just because they tend to be very situational. They tend to be, like in this case, it's about a specific classmate this person has. It is what it is. I'll if somebody wants to try their hand at writing lyrics, and that's their comfort zone right now, that is what it is. If this is their stepping stone to writing fully original songs, I think that's something commendable. We all got to start somewhere. You don't want to run before you walk. So we can get started while people are filing in, if they do. I do have I'm checking on, I do check the chat and I check Discord at the same time, just in case. And that's why I'm always looking down here. I wish I could have it here. You can't see where I'm putting, here on my screen. That would be nice. But I'm not an advanced enough streamer to do that. So, let's get into this by Durcia sent this in on Discord. I wrote a parody of We Don't Talk About Bruno about a school trip I went on, during which one student wouldn't stop talking about another student he hated that wasn't even there. He and some others even yelled his last name when we were in a tent trying to sleep. Now, this might be tough for me to pick up on nuances because I don't know anything about this person's personal life, which, again, very situational. I can only judge this based on, the quality of the lyrics. I can't judge this based on, how it relates to the situation. I wasn't there. I need to head off. Mind if I throw song parody in submissions on the Discord? That sounds threatening. So I'm not sure. So it starts out with, please don't talk about Alfred. I have said. So the thing, people wrote a lot if we don't talk about Bruno parodies back in the day. I think the thing people always missed is that the conceit of the hook was the fact that Bruno ends with the word no. So you can do the lead into we don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. And it's that it has that like double use of it adds just a cool rhythmic sound to it, but also it's the no, 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 like the word. So when you're changing the name Bruno and it's not to something that ends with a no, you lose that. Especially if you're going to replace it with I have said. That's not, think about it in the structure of a regular sentence, right? Please don't talk about Alfred, I have said. You don't structure a sentence like that. That's backwards. You can say I've said. I have said is very formal. You would contract that to I've said. But then that wouldn't work with like a 3-syllable kind of afterthought on the first line. So that already is kind of rough. I'm trying to remember how the song goes because I haven't listened to the Encanto soundtrack in 2 years. We were in Lebanon. Alfred wasn't with us because we left him back in the States. When his surname is unseemly exclaimed. Isn't unseemly more like if I pull up the I always thought of unseemly as more of a visual thing. It means improper. So I think like if somebody is unseemly, that's an adjective, right? And I think of it as being somebody who's like dressed really poorly for like a nice restaurant, right? That's unseemly. I wouldn't say you can say something is unseemly exclaimed. That just doesn't sound right. Like, it might be technically correct, but it doesn't sound right. And a lot of writing is just, does it sound right? There's so much in writing where, like, you can technically be wrong or it can make no sense, but it sounds right. In this case, though, it sounds wrong. To be unseemly exclaimed. Like, there has to be a better word. Sure, if I open up, like, the thesaurus here. Word gives me one. You could say rudely. Rudely exclaimed. Every reminder aggravates. My suffering isn't eternal. Aggravates, I think it's called a transitive verb. I've mentioned this before. There are certain verbs in the English language where you have to put a subject afterwards. Like an object, I guess, is the more proper term. You can't say it aggravates me. It aggravates him. It aggravates us. Alfred isn't here with us when he's brought up on the bus. I don't understand all the fuss. You guys went from Los Angeles to Lebanon? Okay. Please don't talk about Alfred. Alfred Ian does not need to be mentioned with every syllable. My fists begin clenching. I feel like clenching and mentioned is something that Lin-Manuel would try to rhyme. So I'm not, going to... Like, that's something I would rhyme, personally. In, like, a pop-punk song, I would do a rhyme like that. I think in the song we're writing, we have a song like that. I feel my serotonin levels start to dip. This hyperfixation is beyond my comprehension. Serotonin levels start to dip. I don't think that's how that works. I could be wrong. I always thought of, isn't serotonin, I don't want to, like, get it wrong live on stream. Like, dopamine's the reward one, right? SSRIs keep serotonin in your brain. I'll let it slide just because I don't know better. This hyperfixation is beyond my comprehension. That makes sense because you're saying the classmate won't shut up about this guy. The topic at hand brings nothing but dissension. Is that how you spell that? Yeah, that's how you spell that. Dissension meaning like conflict. He has zero relation to our trip, so mind your lip. That's like a nice, snappy line before the chorus. So 16-year-old high school sophomore, when his name comes up, it's hard to ignore. Sophomore has a strong syllable to begin with. It's a feminine rhyme. Like a feminine word, and that the second to last syllable is the strong one. Sophomore. Ignore, the last syllable is the strong one. Sophomore is kind of a double stress. You'd have to do something that rhymes with soft and more, which makes it hard to rhyme. I suppose I'm fated to grow irritated when you talk about Alfred. Please don't talk about Alfred. Last night I didn't sleep a wink in my bed. The voices in our tent echoed in my head. He isn't here in Lebanon, yet talk of him has spread. That's fine. Why can't we discuss his twin instead? He has a twin? That might be kind of interesting to expand on. Because I don't know. I don't know him. Hi, Aster. I hope you had a good Shabbos. I did. Thank you very much. We don't need to continue to speak when we all ought to be sound asleep. I don't mean to be domineering, but at night I don't want to hear a peep. Yesterday we swam in the sea. Much to my relief, Alfred wasn't mentioned until later that night. Yeah, he came up later that night. He came up at night. Again, I don't know. We don't talk about Bruno off the top of my head. I couldn't tell you if this is how the rhyme scheme goes. But it's strange that this is kind of floating. Like the word mentioned is floating in the rhyme scheme. I don't see anywhere where it resolves. Because it's not this, and this isn't connected to sea either. Like, sea and night aren't connected. But again, maybe that's just how it went in the original song, so I can't tell. Alfred, just to be clear, Alfred, the problem isn't really Alfred, it's that no one will shut up about Alfred. Everyone, you must refrain from this topic. And then it goes back. Please talk about Alfred. I think my complaints are valid. That's an interesting slant. I don't know if I would give it a pass. Alfred, valid. It kind of works. It depends how you sing it. Which I say a lot, but it's true. So there's definitely some stuff to work on. But again, if this is, sorry, somebody put something in a... Somebody put something into Discord, but if your comfort zone right now is starting with rewriting, like doing song parodies, and that's going to be your stepping stone into writing original songs, I don't see a problem with it in particular. If you think this was like a fun exercise, a fun thing to do, like, was it fun for you to write? Like, that's important, you know? You don't want to like, you do have to do the unfun parts of any skill to get better at it. But when you are just starting out, you have to have a little bit of fun with it. You don't want to be standing there writing perfect rhymes, perfect meter, perfect everything. You want to be interested in what you're doing. If this helps you be interested in what you're doing, then do it. And eventually you will graduate to more original stuff. And that's good. That is a good thing. It does bother me when people say that there's like a wrong way to start doing an art form. Because, like, technically, yes. I guess you could say that. There's wrong ways to do an art, like, to start doing an art form. But to me, it's like, I keep saying it. If you were inspired by something, you were inspired by something, right? You're creating. So, as long as it's not harmful. When you start getting more advanced, you want to branch out into other things and start doing it more properly and learning more techniques. But when you're just starting out, I think it's fine. Bass Beast sent in one sales pitch for a sweetheart. Says this one's a bit on the nose, sorry. She's such a sweetheart, I know. I'm in love, can't shake it. I'm in love, can't fake it anymore. Hold on, I'm already, like, hearing this in my head. That's when you know it's going well, is like when you can hear it. I'm feeling like F major. She's such a sweetheart, I know. I'm in love, can't shake it. I'm in love, can't fake it anymore. It's not always a good feeling when you have a song you just kind of know, this isn't how he thinks it sounds, I'm sure, unless I'm reading his mind. But I love it when I can read some lyrics and just kind of think of it in my head. That's a good sign. That means that there's like a solid rhythm to the lyrics and the rhyme scheme and everything. Because I know that this first line is like a solid, like, I know this is redundant. It's a solid start, right? She's such a sweetheart, I know. I can kind of do what I want with that. And then the next two lines I know are similar, so I want to put a different chord underneath. I'm in love, can't shake it. I'm in love, can't fake it. And then we have this last part at the end where, you know, that's kind of like a refrain almost. Anymore. So I want to do something that kind of hangs. That's what this D minor is. Because I know it's going to lead into this other part of the verse. She's as gorgeous as a road. Let me hold her by the thorns. If I could just hold her at all. Can't get enough. When worlds collide, don't look inside. You won't like what you see. And if you survive, please cover your eyes or you'll be looking right at me. Try to remember what's in F major, you know, it's B flat. Worlds collide, don't look inside, you won't like what you see. And if you survive, please cover your eyes or you'll be looking right at me. Don't need it. Don't need it, it's just a feeling. I don't need it, it's just a feeling. Alabaster crushed into alabaster dust. That sounds really cool. Like, that doesn't even have to mean anything. It sounds really cool, right? And this is what I'm saying. Does it sound good? Yes. And I want a faster rush, and she promised me the world. So I'll send you a postcard from Hanoi, and I can leave anytime I like. I hope I didn't say that wrong. I know it's a major city in Vietnam. That's all I know. Okay, so you put the chorus front and center. You put it as the intro, which is always something I find cool because it gives you like a preview. This is hooks on hooks, which is good. That's what you want in a pop song, right? Or like a rock song. It's hooks on hooks on hooks. Like everything is just something that can get stuck in your head. Her sneers erupt, explode, imperious, my savior. Lovelorn by the skin of my teeth, I'm not enough. Those are some big words. Like, it suddenly gets very poetic, which is an interesting contrast to the rest of the song, I'm sure, especially if you... I know you, in particular, like British rock, like a British rock sound, so this is like an interesting... it's like an interesting contrast. I'm genuflect. I don't... Do you mean I will genuflect? Because genuflect is a verb. You can't be verb. You can't be a verb, right? You can't say I am run. Empress impressed. My brain with shrapnel love. Another thing that just sounds good. I don't care what it means. It sounds good, right? Shrapnel, like the remnants of an explosion that burst out and pierce you. Your brain is shrapnel love. I chased the dream, but what did it mean when my crown would not come off? I don't need it, this sword of Damocles. I don't need it, it's just a feeling. Alabaster crushed into alabaster dust. And I want a faster rush, and she promised me the world, so I'll send you a postcard from Hanoi. I'm 10,000 miles away. Bangkok shocks, Saigon shakes, Hanoi rocks, I'll never change. Did you mean to include the capital of Thailand? Because these are cities in, well, Saigon is now Ho Chi Minh City, but they're in the same general area. I'll let it slide. So you have an outro here. The structure is interesting. I could tell this would be long. How many words is this? 250 is actually shorter than I thought it would. There's just a lot of sections, which is interesting because I would be very interested to see how this works instrumentally. Because, again, knowing the type of music you make, there's a lot of sections to it. It's different than, you know, a lot of people come to this channel with, like, their musical ideas, right? Like, to write a musicals are very specifically structured, with an exception. There are definitely ones that are more free form. I always point to Les Mis. Les Mis songs can be very free form. But musical songs will only have, like, one or, like 2 or 3 sections, right? You have, like, the verse with the refrain and, like, a bridge. But when you're talking about rock songs could have many sections. You know, different sections with different instrumentals and different hooks and different riffs and different drum beats, because especially metal likes to be almost orchestral in nature in terms of how it's composed, as opposed to a pop or musical song, which tends to be very structured. Like, if you listen to a classical composition, like a real classical composition, you'll notice how many sections there are. It's just something interesting to think about in a story you're trying to tell. You don't want to overwhelm with too many different sections, or else the song loses its structure. But if you just have one section, that also is not interesting. So, good work. I really like that. I'm interested to hear how it sounds with instrumentals. And now we have the last submission today, Keenton. I think this is a FNAF rap battle. Listen, I know I said that there's no wrong way to start creating. Alright, no such thing as cringe. No such thing as cringe, right? Cringe is only if you do something morally wrong. Being an incel is cringe. Writing FNAF rap battles is just, you're young and this is cute, right? That's what I'm gonna tell myself. So right away, a thing I'm noticing is you know how I just talked about sections? This is all one section, right? Because that's how these like epic rap battles are set up, is that it's very A, B, B, C, C, D, D, to make them easier to write, because they're kind of mass produced. If you listen to like a real rap song, you'll notice the rhyme scheme changing regularly. So these songs can be just, like these epic rap battles can be very droning. Let's see. Felix, the so-called man with a giant heart, yet he spends less time with his ex than the project he ripped from his arse. Call it the bite of 78. The bite of 87? The bite of 78, the way you ripped off my series style. You're just an alternate of me. Get the TF. I guess I have to say it like that. Out of my house. Style and house doesn't really rhyme. Style, house. Those are two very different things. They're both diphthongs. That's the best I can give you. What does 78 have to do with it? Again, I know I'm missing context. I only know that, like, I only know FNAF in this, because I see 2 characters who have alter egos and they're similar animatronic killing kids franchises. I don't know what the other franchise is. I don't know who Felix Kranken is. Look at your empty, mild self, a great symbol of your franchise. Seems your VA wasn't the only thing that went on strike. Franchise and on strike don't rhyme because it's franchise, on strike. It's again, strong syllable first. It's one of those things you just learn to listen for when you say it out loud. That's why you have, when you are writing a song, you have to say it out loud, because there's a lot of meter and rhyme that you can only really hear until you've developed an ear for it, that you could hear it in your head. What's the Walton Files? I'm old. I don't know what this stuff is. I can't wait to be doing this when I'm 30 and the next FNAF comes out and all the submissions are about that, and I'm so far removed from the culture that I can't even begin to parse what it's about. What is Walter Files? My ruin was well received. Now a hyped movie's on its way. While your fans wait for episode 4 like tomorrow is another day. Another thing that I noticed is that these lines are very, very long. Like, my ruin was well received, now a hype movie's on its way, is 14 syllables. Do I want context? Please give me context. Now, so 14 syllables is a lot for a single line. And again, so this is the first thing you wrote. Again, I'm not saying that this is wrong. This isn't wrong on like a moral level. I don't know how old you are. For all I know, you're 14. This is the first thing you've ever written. The first thing I wrote was also garbage. I'm not saying this is garbage, but you know what I mean, right? The first thing I wrote, was not that good. So I don't think it's right to beat yourself up with like, oh, this is my first one. Please don't criticize me too hard. Like, I mean, it's all part of the learning process. You'll learn to hear it if you do it enough times. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, I watch between shadows lurk beneath the darkness. Shadow man sees you when the lights go off. Is 20, what did I just count? Like 22 syllables or something? It's a YouTube series, okay. Series inspired by FNAF. 22 syllables. When I'm writing personally, I don't write rap, but when I'm writing personally, like 12 syllables max in a line. Because you want that rhythm to be established. And if you start just kind of rambling, you don't know where the rhythm's going to go. Like you saw in the last song how the way he wrote it, I could hear the rhythm in my head to the point where I could pull out my guitar and start coming up with a melody and chords on the spot. So it's inspired by FNAF, so why are they arguing? He gets drunk while driving his partner's kids home, crashes the car, and the kids die. So it's like dark, okay. So it's like Amori and FNAF together, okay. Spooky ghost, animatronic hijinks. I'm so old, man. I mean, I remember when epic rap battles first, started becoming a thing. Why fight when they could kiss? This is what I'm always saying. Although, actually, I'm always the opposite. I see two characters kissing, and I say, why kiss when they can fight? I love it when, two characters are shipped together a lot, and I can only see them, in a fist fight in my head. Omori referenced. I don't know anything else about Omori, so don't get too excited. I just know, the general premise. He knows he wrecked his family. Compare me to a worse tragedy whilst the public only sees you as a meme eggplant ripoff. Go off and rip off don't rhyme because it's basically the same word, right? You rhyming off with off, and rip and go don't rhyme, so it just defaults to rhyming off with off. I'm a character my fans actually respect. Many still excited for what's up next. You were once taken seriously, a surreal serial killer. That's a nice little alliteration, at least. I like surreal serial. Have I considered playing Omori? Not in particular. I could. I do not expect this to become a Let's Play channel, though. But somehow kept returning, screwed up your whole plot. And what's that rhyme with? The one who got caught was you, messing with your bots, causing a bar and your kid, both JRs to want you gone? This is that new slang. Talking wives you couldn't care about yours in the least, call you Mr. Hypocrite, with your meaningless long story. Where's the rhyme? Stole credit from your coworker, so I'll show you a real mechanic. Leave you trapped behind the back doors to stay rotting into scrap bits. Scrap bits and mechanic I'll actually allow. I'll allow it. You know, like a judge in Law and Order. I'll allow it. It's just different generations. I don't think you're that old. I always tell myself that, like, you're 25, you're not that old. And then I remember that the current college freshmen were born in 2006. So, you're only talking shit because all your robots are doo-doo. Such an agonizing drinker. No wonder one's named Buzu. What the bloody hell was that verse? Lacking remnants of substance. I'm famished for some real disses. Buddy, okay, I'm not reading the rest of this. I'm sorry. I just don't really get it. I just don't want to, like, repeat myself too much. It's somebody's first song. I don't want to, like dig into it and break it apart molecularly. It's not fair. How do we submit our originals? Either through email or through Discord. It's like I used to be friends with people who would read teenagers' fan fictions and laugh at them. And when I was a teenager, I thought that was funny because it's like, ha, I'm 17 and 14-year-olds are stupid. But now I'm older. And I realize those 14-year-olds are writing. Right? They're doing the thing. They are writing. They have to start somewhere, and this is how they're starting. And by the time they are my age, they will be better than me. So, making fun of them is counterproductive. The part including the alliteration was just there so it could be faster and not boring. I mean, that does the job. Putting in a lot of alliteration so it can speed up is a trick. That's a real thing you can do. It's impressive you figured that out. But yeah, I just don't think it's productive to pick on people's, like, first attempts outside of general constructive criticism. You know, it's like those fan fictions written by 14-year-olds and people are like, your grammar is wrong. Like, it'll get better. They're 14. They have to start somewhere. And, you know, the friends who were doing this at the time were, like, well into their 20s, and now they're probably 30. And they still do it. They still make fun of the teenagers. And they haven't done anything. So, you know, who's the real winner in the end? Those teenagers are probably now grown up and doing impressive things. So who wins? Somebody in the comments said they had a submission. I don't know when that's going to come in. In the meantime, we can either go to requests if anybody, you know, sends in a super chat, or we can go to the songwriting. I've been very excited for the songwriting because I told myself I wouldn't write it without the stream. So I just didn't write it for 2 weeks, which was very painful because I really wanted to. Yeah, thank you to those who submitted. If another submission comes in, I will read it. I will interrupt myself. We were writing a song last time about someone who keeps accidentally hurting the person they care most about. And we got pretty far into it. We got a verse, a pre-chorus, and a chorus. We did that in about 45 minutes. Now, I've been thinking about the song. I even started doing instrumentals for it, like in FL Studio, just for fun, because I had the chord, so I figured why not. One of the things that I instantly wanted to do is add a second part to verse 1. I heard you say that. That's why I wanted to submit this. I'm glad you submitted it. Thank you for submitting. I think all submissions are good. And thank you for writing something. You did something, right? You created something. Your first thing, your first song. And you'll always cherish it. So we started it, we've all said that I didn't mean it. We can all say that we've been there. We've all gone from talking to screaming, pulling out our hair. I definitely want a second part to that because it's short, and it's just kind of begging for a second stanza. And in the pre-chorus is very like personal, while this is more like trying to shift the blame of saying like we've all done this, so it's not that bad when I do it. So this second part has to be a bridge between those two. Of course, the tough part is this pulling out our hair is supposed to rhyme with the last part of the pre-chorus. So I have to keep using the air rhymes to keep that, like, sounding good. Or else it's just kind of floating. Now, how do I want to do this? We need the bridge. Well, I definitely want to switch to the first person pronoun. Like to I, to a singular. Or actually, we can switch it to you. I think that would be interesting. Again, trying to shift the blame, like, because it starts with kind of shifting the blame, and then it goes back to, or then it's leading back to actually, like, self-reflection. So you could just talk about the situation. And you'd have like Rhyme Zone open up in another tab. Just sent in mine. I appreciate you using your talents to teach and help other people. I appreciate it. That's what I like using it for. I think it's just worthwhile. So let's see. Did you submit to my email, or did you submit in Discord? While I wait for that, let's see. I saw you. I don't want to say acting different because that's too vague. You want some imagery. I am a sucker for imagery. Saw you wearing that sweatshirt. Maybe we can just make it a floating rhyme. It's a pre-chorus. You can do that. Of course, now we have to rhyme something with sweatshirt, which is going to be a time. It's gonna be some like insane slant. I can feel it. Chest hurt. That could work. I'm thinking effort. You emailed it. Let me check my email. Sometimes it ends up in like the spam folder. I don't see my email. I don't see anything in my email, but I will keep an eye on it. I never thought I could get hurt. Like I'm thinking it's not bad. I'm wondering if it's too, again, vague. If it's too impersonal. Rhyme it with sweater. It would rhyme. It would rhyme. Saw you wearing that sweatshirt. Because I'm thinking, like, bundled up something. Saw you wearing that sweatshirt. The hood pulled down over your eyes. But I don't like using, this is like a weird hang up I have where sometimes I don't like using the word eyes because it just feels predictable. But I suppose we could put it in there for now. Let's see. We can make it more personal. I could say like, you stole it from me something. Or like, thought that you threw it away. Because there we go. Then we have like some story, some background. I don't know. It means something. Maybe I will put in get hurt. I'm kind of stuck on effort. The strategy with Rhyme Zone, the thing about Rhyme Zone is that it helps, but you have to know how to use it. And a lot of it is what I do is I just kind of like do like a transitive search. So I'll do a near rhyme search for one thing and then find something that rhymes with that, and then that near rhymes with it, and then do a near rhyme search for the near rhyme. And you're on like 2 layers of slants. Are there any conditions sending in a submission? It just has to be original and like relatively appropriate for the street. We tried to make an effort. I thought we were making an effort. Well, yeah, that kind of works. I'm gonna check my email again and see if that submission came in. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I'm thinking that too. And the last line with I thought as well. Does it make sense if I start it? Yeah. Um, does it make sense if the first thing starts with I saw? I mean, it's fine. I don't know, sometimes it's nice to have the variety. I remember one of my songwriting teachers said she really didn't like the phrase throw it out or throw it away because it was too vague. But I think it's fine here. If she's watching this, which I don't think she is. Amelia, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. So I'm looking at the rhymes for away, and my eye is drawn to the word fray, like when like a fabric can fray, but I just can't think of a good way to put it in there with I thought as the first line, as the first two words. Let's see. Because I could say like I thought we had mended the fray, and that just sounds too poetic. But then again, the chorus is pretty metaphorical. Okay, you hadn't sent it in before. Okay, now it's sent. Oh, a Band Labs. Just checking the lyrics first. Sorry, let me listen to this for myself. Just oh, that is auto-tuned. I think I'm just gonna go with the lyrics. I love poetic language even in writing. Do you recommend not using that sort of language in songwriting? That is a very strong it depends. That's a very strong it depends. I believe in consistency in your tone. So, like, if the rest of it isn't poetic, you have to be careful about actually going poetic later. Like, you can save it for the chorus. I usually do that. Um, I think songwriting is a lot of balance. You don't want to be too metaphorical. You don't want to be too literal. You don't want to be too vague. You don't want to be too specific. You don't want to be too flowery. You don't want to be too blunt. It's tough to like give you an exact guide to whether you should use flowery language or not. A lot of it again goes back to does it sound good. So I'm gonna go back to the other document so I can see this what this person just sent in. Kane Carlson just sent in. their song "How I Met Your Mother." Down and out man, but all around he's a pretty swell guy, making hammer out of himself to hit all the nails. Met your mom, and it changed my life. He drove a truck for a company out in Minnesota. So no rhymes, which is fine. I generally like I'm fine with non-rhyming songs. I listen to a lot of them. He couldn't turn his back even if he wanted to. It's scorched earth. I assume that means that I was supposed to say scorch. It's scorched earth, all or nothing. What you gonna choose? Take it or leave it. It's what he can offer. He cannot say no to you because he doesn't know what's good for himself, or apparently for you both. If you mean what you say, gut him like a fish and throw the body to the sea. This feels very mid-2000s, early mid-2000s. This is something I would hear on a new metal album. Anesthesia. I hate this. I hate that word. Anesthesia. You know what I'm trying to say. But a woman all her own. She begged and pleaded to get emancipated because she had a rough deck of hands, a shitty deal of cards. I wouldn't wish it on my own worst enemy, she'd say. Interesting. Again, very... The Bandcamp link you sent in was not very early 2000s, but these lyrics are kind of begging for it. Maybe listen to a bit of Simple Plan and see if anything comes to you. Although, do I actually want to tell somebody that? No. Listen to a bit of Blink-182 and see what comes to you. It's interesting. Again, there's a lot of, like, it sounds interesting. I'm not exactly sure what it's trying to be about, but it sounds interesting. So, you know, pretty good. Very, like, visceral language. It's interesting. All right. Wasn't long either, so we can go right back. Are we back on the song? Yes. Thought we were making an effort. I thought that the rope didn't fray. And then we can go to the pre-chorus. So let's see, that would be... You're either into the autotune sound or not, I completely get it. I come from emo/punk bands as a vocalist. The solo stuff is very autotune pop and T-Pain inspired. I see. I like emo and punk, honestly, but I know that, like, there was an era where it had a bit of autotune in it, so. Let's see. I saw you wearing that sweatshirt. I thought that you threw it away. I thought we were making an effort. I thought that the rope didn't fray. I caught myself checking the clock. 11 p.m. and counting. Molehills turn into mountains, waking up to the sun's red glare. The chorus is the part I'm happiest with so far, even though it does lean very dramatic. I mean, to Kane, who just said, I come from the emo punk scene, I'm sure you might appreciate that. It's interesting because I'm doing these instrumentals, and they start kind of more chill, and then you have the bitter cold, the mountains clear to, or the branches clear to see. Crimson drops in the snow, leading away from me. Like, this is getting very dramatic, but it sounds so good. I can't get rid of it. So I'm just gonna go straight to verse 2. And we're back at the problem we started with. We have to do this again. So what do we want this verse 2 to be about is the question. Because it seems that our narrator by the chorus has figured out the problem, right? That they keep hurting people. They keep, just somehow causing problems for themselves. So what is our verse 2? Verse 2 should double down on the chorus, you know? Like, that's how I'm seeing this happen. I'm gonna put my guitar down for a second. I finally had the idea to bring my guitar stand out to my living room, so I'm not, like, precariously balancing it between the table and the wall, which is what I've been doing beforehand. It can finally go back to I, right? That would be a good verse 3, as you could say, like, I've always meant I didn't mean it, or something like that. I've always said I didn't mean it. That'd be a good verse 3. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Doubting their thoughts. Yeah, that would work. Have I heard the song Pork Fried Headed Washing Machine? I have not. If it is appropriate for the stream, you could always send a super chat and listen to it. I'm just gonna put that down there, just in case I still want to go that direction. I'm putting it down there so I don't forget. The biggest mistake you could make is, I won't write it down, I'll remember. I always tell myself that. Biggest mistake. I don't need to write it down. I'll remember. Yeah, the chorus solidifies the verse 2. That is usually how you want it to work. So, let's see. Actually, I've always said I didn't mean it could be a good verse 2 starter. Because that is, like, doubt, you know? I wish I could get rid of the page break here. I know that Google Docs does that now. And I'll just do this. I've always said I didn't mean it, not that it means much to you. Here I rhyme it with screaming, but I could go for a more straightforward rhyme and actually put it at the end. By the way, the plan for this song is, when I finish it and get the instrumentals all done, I'm gonna have somebody's already going to take the guitar part and record a guitar part, but I want someone who can sing it well, sing it better than me, and it would be paid. I would not have somebody do that for free. I feel like third sentence should end with it again, yeah. I was thinking the word secret. I was thinking the word keep it. Seen it. Between it. Although between it is hard because you usually say between them. Like, between implies two things. Like, don't hide something I've seen it. Don't. Don't hide something I've seen it. It would have to be 2 syllables. So, like, scars, not only would that be cliche, that also doesn't work. Like, it's not the right number of syllables. Don't hide the something I've seen it. This is the tough part about songwriting live, is you have like these awkward silences where I'm just thinking. Like, what if I put that in and just opened up this thesaurus? What would it give me? Trauma's yeah. Don't hide the trauma. I've seen it. You're right. That would work like grammatically, but it's like trauma's such a like it's almost. Yeah, resentment. Resentment is closer. Trauma is very kind of. Like trauma is just almost like a joke word at this point. Um, damage. Worries is plural, so we can't do that. I think also Baz doing don't hide your head, like don't turn your head because I've seen it. That's closer. Like don't hide your eyes because I've seen it, but like they would be them, so I can't do that. Don't hide your like expression is like sorrow is almost the don't hide your anger. I've seen it. If we could find like a better word than anger and a shorter word than resentment, we'd be golden. And that's why I always keep a thesaurus open. This is fun. I love crowdsourcing my lyrics. Fury, pain. I'm seeing malice, anguish, hatred. Hatred's too strong. Like I feel like hatred is too strong. Anger might be it. Breadsticks. Facts. Don't hide your breadsticks. Hatred might be it. Yeah. No, hatred or anger is it. So, hide your hatred just for the alliteration? Sure. Thank you, chat. Wait, hold on. I just had it. I just had an idea. Okay. I've always said I didn't mean it. How do you still stay so calm? How do you still stay so calm? Don't hide your hatred, I've seen it. nails digging into your palms. Because now we have imagery. We know that if somebody's doing, like, if your nails are digging into your palms, you're, like, really, like, clenching your fist hard, right? Like, you're trying to keep those emotions down. Also, where do I get the crochet bird? I got this at a little convention here. Like, somebody was selling it for $10. It was really cute. Fortunately, I do not have her card. And there's no, like, tag on it or anything. I forget what my girlfriend named it. She really likes to name all these things. Like, we have a lot of little stuffed animals around the house, and she always names them. But I forget his name. Sure, it's like Jerry or something. Sounds like a lead-in for a Ruby song. Well, now I have to delete the whole thing. I don't even know the song Smile. Is that one of the new ones? I used to have it, like, encyclopedic knowledge of Ruby songs. Although I know Pancho's been following me for a long time, so maybe he's just messing with me. Volume 5. I don't remember this. So what do we do for part 2 of the verse? That's the question. I'm not leaving this stream until it's done. I'm also trying to think about what structure I want for this song. I might do verse into bridge into pre-chorus into chorus and just make it a 2-chorus song. Thinking cap is off. It's like bothering my forehead. I'm sure is there a big line on my forehead? On my big forehead? Yes, there is. There it is. This part of my hair does not like to go down. Don't hide your hatred, I've seen it. Nails digging into your palms. I could also do pre-chorus, bridge, pre-chorus, chorus. Many options. I've done that a few times before, though. I could cut verse 2 short and add the bridge, just to switch it up. I've done that a few times, too. Like, I can say this is a bridge afterwards. But let's see if we can come up with a part 2 for this verse. More questioning feels suitable, I agree. Maybe we're just getting older, we don't talk the same as before. That we have colder because, you know, oh, the bitter cold, and then we can connect it to that. But I want to see if I could come up with let's see if there's anything else besides colder. How do you keep getting bolder? I'm thinking it could be more inwards, like some kind of weight on my shoulder, like. I like the silly things that you guys suggest sometimes. I bet you can't bench a boulder. I can't. I bench 135, I think, on a good day. £135. I know there's Brits in this chat. They're gonna be like, 135 kilograms? No, I can't do that. I feel a coldness on my shoulder I've actually used in a different song. Like I've used a similar turn of phrase. So I don't want to use it twice. Like some kind of weight on my shoulder, like it's aching my back more and more. More does work. I don't want to be too literal with this. You don't want to dig too hard into a metaphor sometimes. But you're right, more could work. But I've rhymed more before in a different song, so do I want to do that? We could do some kind of weight on my shoulder, some kind of promise we swore. So we have maybe we're just getting older. We don't talk the same as before. Some kind of weight on my shoulders. Some kind of promise we swore. And now to think about a song, I like it. I like this as is. So the tough part is bridge. Tough part is bridge because now we need to come up with another melody. And right now the verse is like an A flat, like it's built off around a flat major. Like the reason I like some kind of promise we swore is because there's two lines. There's like two ways to interpret that, right? You can say like the weight on the shoulders is the promise, but you could also say it like sarcastically almost. Like, yeah, that's some kind of promise we swore. Need to catch up on sleep, but this is actually fun. I'm glad you enjoyed. Have a good night. That's the thing about starting it at 1 p.m. It's because like if I start it too late, then I know that there's people who aren't American that watch this, and I don't want to isolate them in their time zones. But then if I start too early on a Sunday, people aren't gonna want to watch in America. So I need chords in F minor because I'm lazy. I have no memory. Chords in F minor. About the key of F minor. F minor. Key change in my alt rock song? I mean, I suppose anything's possible. Let's see. I think, let's see, going to the 6th chord from F minor. Da, 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 da. I wrote another song like that like had that key change. Da, 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 da. So I don't want to use that. Maybe I should do something stupid, like a secondary dominant chord or something. I did not realize, by the way, that word is, like, transparent. It's my first time noticing that. I'm watching my own stream. I did not notice that before. Okay. So a secondary dominant, if I'm calculating this right, is the 5th of C minor. And the 5th of C minor is G minor. Which actually could work. If I switch the key into C minor, maybe you're onto something. Yes, okay. We got it. So we're doing G minor, C minor, E flat major, B flat major. So as opposed to B flat minor, which is like usually an F minor, which is the chord in F minor. So we could even switch. It's a little bit jazzy, but at the end of this we could even go like and switch to B flat minor and go back to F. Because the pre-chorus does start with B flat minor. So it's actually not a terrible idea, I don't think. We just need to come up with a melody now. You can even do like, make it really pretty and do a major 7. Because it's like a turning point, so we can make it pretty. And F minor is in C minor natural, so you can actually go, like, do this and just go back to F minor at the end. It all works. It just works. It's like programming in a Bethesda game. It just works. But now the bridge is the turning point, right? So what do we have this actually be about is the question. Come on, we finish the bridge, we're done. Like we go either. We could just go back to the chorus and call it a day after the verse. Pre-chorus, then chorus, and just throw a solo in there and call it a song. Then I can be done with the stream. And I can move on with my life. Someone says hi, so I have to say hi back. Hello, Kiosh. We are songwriting. We could just go really hard into the winter metaphor here if we want to. You heard last stream, thank you. So hopefully you remember this song. I'm trying to think about a bridge right now. I also might want to double up on these chords, like do eight beats instead of 4. Make it a little nicer, a little bit more different. Bridges traditionally are actually meant to provide contrast to the rest of the song, which I think is interesting. Like instrumentally contrast. Not always the case now. In fact, now usually the bridge is like the big part that everybody sings along to. You know, that's not how I generally write them, but you know, in a lot of pop, that's just kind of the thing now, is you want the bridge. You can thank Taylor Swift for that. Let's see. Recently, a lot of bridges are just the pre-chorus again. Yeah, I know. I want to switch it up a little bit. Do bridge into pre-chorus. Like, bridge solo pre-chorus is a thing I've done before, so. It's always the hardest part of the song for me. Bridge into chorus, then pre-chorus into final chorus, that could also work. The question is, do we switch the second pre-chorus? Or is it like we haven't done it in a while so we could keep it the same? I hate pre-chorus bridges low-key. Well, good thing we're doing a real chorus. It even has a key change. The song's in F minor, but the bridge is in G minor. So we're insane. We're different. We're delusional. Like, I'm tempted to go full into, like, the cold metaphor. But I don't know, because that could just come off as really cheesy. Unless we do something creative. Never been done before. Just reading the chat. What's the thing where it's like beautiful, wonderful, never been done before, daring, different, or something like that. The thing that's coming to mind is I wanted maybe something is like how daytime in the winter is really short. You get like long like a winter's night or something like Going all out with the metaphor won't be good. Like, the thing I hit, rage is as short as a winter day, grudge is as long as the night. Because the whole idea was like, one small moment can really affect somebody. Blizzard metaphor, the days get shorter, the hours grow longer. It's possible. Good songwriting is tension and release. I think so. Going all out on the metaphor is bad. I want to emphasize that because it's true. Tension and release is a big part of songwriting. You know, build up in the pre-chorus, release in the chorus. Long as a winter's night, gone like the morning dew. Well, it wouldn't be much more morning dew in the winter. Something like frost in the morning. Like, I like the use of morning to follow along night. The lyrics have very similar vibes to a Pantera song. I mean, that's a compliment, I suppose. Rage is as short as I guess the winter's day. Rage is as short as a winter's day. Grudge is as long as the night. Usually don't use similes, but I think I can make this work. Yeah, I'm trying to put in morning. Like, almost like a double, you know, kind of what you're thinking, like the double entendre. You like stuck like the frost in the morning, but not like stuck is the wrong word. Trapped? No. Yeah, I am skipping the rhyme on the third line. Stuck just isn't a good, like, but trapped is the wrong word too. Glued? No, glued doesn't work. Condemned is 2 syllables. I don't know. Condemned? No. Faded. That's an interesting one. Faded like frost in the morning. Yeah. And then we get that little alliteration that you guys all seem to like so much. Caged? Is it the thing about trapped is that frost isn't really trapped, like it goes away in the afternoon usually. Frozen like frost is redundant. Like, frost is frozen. That's why it's there. Faded like frost I like because in the context of this being winter time, like, it's going to happen. There is going to be frost in the morning. And now we need something to rhyme with night. The easy way out is to rhyme it with white, and put that in the context of snow. You could do maybe we'll end up all right, as a little bit of like hope, I guess, because it's kind of a bleak song. Just to kind of, but it would kind of cancel out the bridge, wouldn't it? Like, you could just do maybe we'll end up all right. And it kind of lessens the blow a little bit. It's a little bit of a cushion. Now we have to kind of promise we swore. Reach is as short as the wind. It seems like a filler line. Yeah. Reach is as short as the wind. Da, 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 da. Reach. Ranges as short as a winter's day. Lodges as long as the night. Bleeding like frost in the morning. Maybe we'll end up alright. Might want to switch these chords around because then it'll lead better into the chorus if it's E flat major 7 instead of B flat, because then it would be B flat and then that like into the F minor sounds kind of weird. But if it was the E major, it goes back into the F minor nicely. So imagine a trap beat over this. Right, it does feel kind of fillerish. Just as short as the winter's day, gorgeous as long as the night, faded like frost in the morning. Maybe we'll end up alright. I also want a major 7th this. Major 7ths are really pretty. I'm a big fan. We can't rhyme night with tonight. The rhyme police will get you. We haven't considered the word light yet for a rhyme. Shining like something in the light? I don't know. I love major 7ths unhealthily. I feel that. waste all this time. That's so tight. Snow Halation sounds great with Shoddy like a melody. I mean, Snow Halation sounds good with anything that has its chord progression. That's just kind of a known thing. I was there in 2016, I know. Shoddy did a felony. Me talking about Melanie Martinez. We have Bright as an option. Faded like frost in the morning. Fright? I don't know. I don't like the word fright very much because it's kind of archaic. In this in modern speech, it's kind of archaic. We could always start going to slants. It's fine. It's fine. Slants are fine. If we allow for slant rhymes, we could faded like frost in the morning. Like the something outside. Alone like something outside. Songwriting leaves. Yeah, leaves could work. Like plants lean towards the light. I thought that was a myth. Like sunflowers pointing towards the sun. I thought that was a myth. Rhymes and syllables be damned. What would you want to say in the line? That's what I'm figuring out. It faded like frost in the morning, and then we need to figure out like how to close that stanza with the metaphor. Like following an argument, you have like rage, grudge, and then something faded. Faded like frost in the morning. When we do this, we're done. like. Yeah, I think light is gonna be the word if I were to guess. Is Twilight a possible choice? No, just because it's Twilight. It's the strong syllable goes first. Do I want to recontextualize the song? Sorry, I just saw Poncho's comment. Do I want this to contrast or recontextualize the song? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I guess recontextualizing would be good because I want to add a little bit of hope to the song, saying that like whatever's going on between these two, like it will get better eventually. Uh, so I think light is going to be the word. Because you could do something like sparkling something in the light. Faded like frost in the morning, sparkling for you in the light. Do we like this? Give the chat a second to catch up because I think this is pretty low latency. The 6 people left here. Do we like this? Yes. Sorry for the delayed reaction. That was me waiting for the chat to agree. Rage is as short as the winter's day, grudges as long as the night, faded like frost in the morning, sparkling for you in the light. Oh, the bitter cold. I think it works. And then the last question before we want to wrap this up is if we want to change the second pre-chorus, which I think we might have to. Caught myself checking the clock, 11 p.m. and counting. Molehills turn into mountains, waking up to the sun's red glare. Like, we could keep the first line and just switch the last 3. And then call it a day. Yeah, I was thinking about keeping the clock part. I know I just changed it, but that's what I was thinking about. Maybe you could keep the clock part and change the time. Yeah. The problem is 11 is the only time word that is 3 syllables. Unless you do something really specific, you're 436 and counting. So you could do like 7 and counting. You could even say like a quarter past 7 and counting. Of course, the problem then is counting is not many words rhyme with that. Of course, you could always do like a quarter past 7 and counting. It's early, my head is still pounding. Then we need like a really killer line for this last pre-chorus into the final chorus. I could just do I look up and you're standing there and just leave it on that like open note, like open-ended note. Not like a literal note, but like, you know, like a narrative note. I caught myself checking the clock, a quarter past 7 and counting. It's early, my head is still pounding. I look up and you're standing there. Oh, the bitter cold. I think this works. I think this works. I think we have something, chat. That was me trying to crack my neck. So this song took us, what, like 2 hours? 2.5 hours? But we have it. And I'm happy with it. You know, let's all give ourselves a little round of applause. We could do one quick run through, and then I'm probably gonna call it a day. And remember, if anybody knows any singers, anyone who's better than me and knows how to properly record themselves, please let me know. So here's how the whole thing sounds. We've all said I didn't mean it. We can all say we've been there. We've all gone from talking to screaming, pulling at our hair. I saw you wearing that sweatshirt. I thought that you threw it away. I thought we were making an effort. I thought that the rope didn't fray. I caught myself checking the clock, 11 p.m. and counting. More hills turn into mountains, waking up to the sun's red glare. Oh, the bitter cold, the branches clear to see. Crimson drops in the snow, leading away from me. Oh, the river flows, and I can cross it twice. Tell me what you think you know, I'll gladly pay the price. So that's our first part. Sorry, I just hit my guitar against the table really hard. And then I don't want to like keep you guys here too long. So we do have the verse too. I've always said I didn't mean it. How do you stay so calm? Don't hide your hatred. I've seen it. Nails digging into your palms. Maybe we're just getting older. We don't talk the same as before. Some kind of weight on my shoulders. Some kind of promise we swore. Rage is as short as the winter's day. Grudges as long as the night. Faded like frost in the morning. Sparkling for you in the light. Chorus. I caught myself checking the clock. 7:15 and counting. It's early. My head is still pounding. I look up and you're standing there. Chorus. All right. Thank you so much, chat. This is great. I am going to whip up an instrumental because I have nothing else to do today. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. So have a good evening. Or a good night.